Hello everyone and welcome back to your online English class. So today the topic that we are going to start is the Cop and the Anthem. This story, The Cop and the Anthem, is a short story written by O. Henry, who was the well-known short story writer of English literature. In this story, he describes about a man who longs for something strange, something he thinks he needs, that is to be arrested. Why does he need so? Let's explore in the story. Soapy moved restlessly on his seat in Madison Square. There are certain signs to show that winter is coming. Birds begin to fly south, people want new warm coats, and Soapy moved restlessly on his seat in the park. When you see these signs, you know that winter is near. So Soapy was a homeless and jobless man. He was lying on his seat in Madison Square in New York. He was feeling uncomfortable, so he turned left and right again and again. The winter was approaching there, and he was restless because of the cold wind. Birds were flying to the warmer places. People were buying woolen cloths. But Soapy, having no money to buy anything, just lying restlessly on the seat in that park, which was like his home. He was aware of all the signs of winter. A dead leaf fell at Soapy's feet. That was a special sign for him that winter was coming. It was time for all who lived in Madison Square to prepare. Soapy's mind now realized that fact, that the time had come. He had to find some way to take care of himself during the cold weather, and therefore he moved restlessly on his seat. Suddenly, Soapy noticed that a dried leaf fell on his feet. Now he was sure that the tough winter was going to be started. All the people who lived in Madison Square had to prepare for these winters. Soapy was thinking that it was a time to think something to survive in the cold weather, and so he was unable to sleep and moving restlessly on his seat. Soapy's hopes for the winter were not very high. He was not thinking of sailing away on a ship. He was not thinking of southern skies or the Bay of Naples. These are the warmer places. 3 months in the prison on Blackwell's Island was what he wanted. 3 months of food every day and a bed every night. 3 months safe from the cold north wind and safe from cops. This is what Soapy wanted most in the world. So Soapy's desires for winter were not so high. He didn't want to go to travel in warmer places by sailing on a ship or by flight. What he only wanted, being prisoned on the Blackwell's Island for 3 months, because these 3 months were of the coldest weather in Madison Square. He thought of free food and stay for night being prisoned there. He thought it would be the best place for him because no cop or the cold wind will disturb him there. So he was willing to go to jail. For years, Blackwell's Island had been his winter home. Richer New Yorkers made their plans to go to Florida or to the shore of Mediterranean Sea each winter. Soapy made his small plans for going to the island. And now the time had come. 3 big newspapers, some under his coat and some over his legs, had not kept him warm during the night in the park. So for many years, Soapy was doing the same in winters. So Blackwell's Island was just like his home for winter. Rich people of New York were planning to travel warmer places like Florida or the shore of Mediterranean Sea, but Soapy was just preparing his plan to go to that island. Now he decided to go there because he would no longer be able to keep warm under newspapers only. So he was looking for alternatives. In this picture you can see that Soapy is thinking all about the ways that how could he survive in winter. So Soapy was thinking of the island. There were places in the city where he could go and ask for food and a bed. Those would be given to him. He could move from one building to another and he would be taken care of through the winter. But he liked Blackwell's Island better. So Soapy knew that there were so many places where he will get shelter and food both if he asked. He just had to search from one place to another and then he would surely get the place to stay with good arrangements. But he was not interested in those shelters. He only wanted to go to that island. Soapy's spirit was proud. If he went to any of these places, there were certain things he had to do in one way or another. he would have to pay for that what they gave him. They would not ask him for money, but they would make him wash his whole body. They would make him answer questions. They would want to know everything about his life. No, prison was better than that. The prison had rules and he would have to follow, but in prison, a gentleman's own life was still his own life. Soapy, having decided to go to the island, at once began to move towards his desire. So Soapy was feeling proud on himself because of having such a good idea of shelter for him. He thought if he got shelter in the city, they would board him, but in return he had to pay some money, or he would be asked for taking proper bath and wearing clean clothes. In addition to that, he would be asked to so many questions. So he thought island was an easy enough place to get to. All he had to do was just to get himself arrested. Everything he would get there, like shelter, food, rules, warmth, and no more questions. So now he was willing to go to Blackwell's Island only. But how he will get the entry in Blackwell's Island, we will continue in the next part. Thank you all. Take care of you.